Good evening, it's Friday the 23rd of August and it's time for the news on RIK2. The presence of Turkey's Minister of Foreign Affairs Hakan Fidan at the upcoming informal Council of Foreign Ministers of the European Union offers the opportunity to detect Turkey's intentions on the Cyprus issue in front of our partners as well, said the government spokesman. Responding to criticisms for the green light given by the Cypriot government for the presence of Fidan, Konstantinos Ledimgiodis stated to the CYBC that the decision is based on the conclusions of the European Council in April, and while stating that the National Council was subsequently informed. Regarding the reactions in the occupied territories to the end of day trips of tourists from the free areas by the German giant tour operator TUI, the government spokesperson denied that the government requested this termination. He reminded that the permanent policy of the Cyprus Republic is that it does not wish for tourist excursions and accommodation in the occupied territories. Constant retreats do not appease the conqueror, said Archbishop Georgios. He noted that both the Greek and Cypriot governments must find a new way to claim the rights of the Hellenism of Cyprus. He emphasized at the same time that the Greek Cypriot side must adopt a new assertive policy in order for Hellenism to survive on the island and to recover what is currently under occupation. The Archbishop's statements were made at a meeting with Greek Minister of Culture, Lina Mendoni. For her part, Mendoni underlined that everyone's sacred duty is to work for a free and united Cyprus. The economy is advancing positively and shows resilience, Minister of Finance Magis Geravnos said today. Geravnos submitted to the Council of Ministers the 6-month fiscal report and briefed the Cabinet on the course of the economy. In statements after the Cabinet meeting, Geravnos said the aim of the report is to ascertain whether the economic fundamentals lie within the projections, noting that in case of adverse projections and divergence from the economic targets, corrective measures will be taken. The Finance Minister said that the fiscal balance as a percentage of the GDP stood at 1.3% at the end of June, whereas the primary balance, excluding debt servicing expenditure, which is a very important index, showed a surplus of 2%. Furthermore, Geravnos said public debt to GDP ratio declined from 77.6% in 2023 to 72.3% in the first 6 months of the year, adding the aim is to approach the 60% target or lower by 2026. According to Geravnos, Cyprus's nominal GDP by June 2024 amounted to €31.5 billion compared to €29.8 billion in the respective period of 2023. The Shipping Deputy Ministry announced that the Council of Ministers has approved a 3-year extension of the passenger maritime link contract between Cyprus and Greece. As it noted, since the service began in June 2022, over 21,000 passengers have utilised the maritime link, along with more than 7,000 cars and 700 pets. These figures underscore the importance and necessity of the service, which continues to grow in popularity and usage, the Deputy Ministry said in its press release. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris sealed the Democratic presidential nomination with a muscular speech laying down broad foreign policy principles with 11 weeks left in the race for the White House. On the final night of the 4-day Democratic National Convention, Harris, 59, promised to be a realistic, practical president for all Americans, as she battles Trump, 78, in a razor-close campaign. It was a forceful speech for a candidate who, during her brief campaign, had yet to articulate much of her vision for the country. If successful, Harris stands to make history as the first woman elected U.S. president on November the 5th. And now a look at tomorrow's weather. It will be mainly cloudy with afternoon isolated rains. Winds will be southwesterly to northwesterly moderate, force 3 to 4, later turning fresh, force 4 to 5 over slightly rough seas. Temperatures will rise to 36 Celsius inland, 32 in western coastal areas, 33 in all other coastal regions and 27 over the mountains. The fire hazard is high in all forest areas. That's all for today. Join us tomorrow again for more news in English. Have a very good evening.